Hello, my name is Matt Enlow. I'm the writer, director, creator of Squaresville. So you're probably wondering, what is composition and why is it important to me? So composition, pretty simply, is just what elements you're putting in front of the frame and how you're representing them. So take a look at this shot, right? Okay, good enough. It could be better though. Take a look at this one. You see the difference? Framing and motion is important to keep your audience engaged because it's about creating a dynamic scene for your audience. Every single shot, every single frame that you're putting in front of your audience is a conscious decision on your part as the filmmaker. So the more thought that you put into them and the more you understand what it is you're trying to say to your audience on an emotional level and a storytelling level, that's going to help you communicate what you're really trying to get at as a filmmaker to your audience. So shot composition is really just as simple as that. It's communicating to the audience, this is what you need to be paying attention to. So when you're watching films or when you're watching YouTube, thinking about what your eye is being drawn to and why it's being drawn there is the first step towards understanding how shot composition works. Take a look at this shot and how we split it into 3 different sections. Where is your eye being drawn? These are kind of the fundamental questions you have to ask yourself every time you're framing a shot. Your shot selection clues your audience into what it is they should be feeling and thinking about any given moment. So how does an audience feel about a close-up versus a wide shot? So typically as a director, I'll take a camera handheld when I'm trying to add a little extra energy or enthusiasm to a scene. So maybe it's something as simple as making a mundane moment in characters' lives a little bit more exciting, or sometimes it's as obvious as running along with a character or conveying a sense of action and kineticism. Whereas with quieter, more stable moments, sometimes I'll shoot on a tripod or keep my image a little bit more static. So using the same shot over and over again can sometimes bore an audience. You can lull an audience with the familiarity. So thinking about other shots and diversifying the shots that you use in your videos is an easy way to add a little bit of excitement and wonder to your videos. So get creative, think outside the box, surprise yourself a little bit. You can make a shot out of anything. So in Squaresville, a lot of our scenes took place in our lead character, Zelda's bedroom. And it was a challenge for us to make sure that we kept each and every episode dynamic and exciting so that the audience didn't get bored. I encourage you to think about when you're shooting at your home or your bedroom or your school, to think outside the box and try to invent new angles and a new way of seeing the same scenes that you continue to shoot. Being able to move the camera is one of the things that sets filmmaking apart from every other medium. Motion is kind of the first step towards creating, a bigger world and stronger emotional beats. My favorite way of moving the camera in Squaresville happened all the time when our characters were walking to or from school, right? It was a super common, super universal, relatable moment that our characters were dealing with, where as a teenager, you're just trying to get from point A to point B. And the camera is right there with them. We're tracking along with our characters, but at the same time, we're moving through the world the same way that they would, at the same pace, at the same size, at the same worldview, ultimately. If you're trying to create an intimate moment, what's the most intimate thing that you can do is maybe it's get a little bit closer, right? And it can be something as simple and as human as that. Or it could be, what's the converse of that, or the opposite of that would be backing away, right? Emotionally, what are you trying to do with the camera, and how does that affect the way the viewer perceives the moment that you're photographing? Work. Cool, great guys. All right, so we're just gonna take this through step by step. I'll go ahead and call each beat out, but keep it light, keep it fun, and we'll hop right into it, okay? Let's try a snap zoom.
No. Say what?
Cool, that's a cut. So let's try a whip pan. And action.
Say what?
Let's try tilting up. Maybe we should try tilting down this time. Let's tilt down, shall we? You can't use that one. You can't use that one. I mean it on that. All of the different tools that we talked about, whether it's panning, tilting, booming, or dollying, pushing in, pulling out, those are all really just tools that you can use to accentuate the motion that you're trying to punch in the scene. The first thing I like to do whenever I'm starting a scene is run a quick blocking rehearsal with our actors to see how they're going to interact within the stage and the space that they're playing in. And then from there, we kind of choose camera movements and shots. Is a character comfortable in their environment or aren't they? You know, are they running from or towards something? Those are all kind of obvious human cues, but you have to think about them and plan them in advance so that your camera can capture those moments appropriately. Deciding to keep the camera still is as powerful as moving it sometimes, and gives the audience a different set of emotional cues. There were plenty of instances in Squaresville where we decided to keep the camera completely static as a way of punctuating an emotional beat. So in this section, I'm going to give you guys a couple practical suggestions on how to improve your camera movement. A lot of you guys probably have a DSLR or a similar sort of camera like this. These cameras oftentimes, because they're so light, they can feel a little jittery or a little shaky. Maybe you want to play that to your advantage, or maybe you want to go ahead and lean up against something, or even just kind of brace your hand against a shelf, or even your own body will help kind of steady that image. So moving your camera from side to side laterally will add a little bit of dimensionality to whatever it is you're photographing, right? Like imitating a dolly or a slider. So there are a couple things you can do there. If you've got a smooth surface to slide your camera on, you can go ahead and like put it on a towel or some sort of chamois and literally just kind of slide it across the table. More practically, just shifting your weight from side to side will be a nice, clean way to add a little subtle bit of movement. Sometimes the most extreme moments a person can live through require a really dramatic camera move. I like to use more dramatic moves, especially in action or on especially emotional impact. So, you know, you see dramatic moves when a character has a profound realization, whether that's of, you know, being afraid of something, you know, the best example, right? When Indiana Jones sees that boulder coming, there's that classic Spielberg dolly forward, you know, Indy has realized that he's going to get crushed by this boulder if he doesn't run, right? So awesome. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I hope it's inspired you to go out and move your camera a little bit. You can check out more Creator Academy right here, or you can check out my show Squaresville right here. It's pretty good. I recommend it. You guys should check it out.